Hi everyone, this is Sharon. I am here today to share with you my latest Christmas journal. This is, I say Christmas loosely because this journal, I did a take on the 12 days of Christmas, but I also mixed that up with a whole bunch of skating images. So it's got kind of a sort of a magical wintry feel to it, I would say. For the cover, I used this Hans Brinker or the Silver Skates book from 1917. And for the closure, I used a houndstooth wool and I cinched it up with the brass buckle. I really like the way that buckle looks with the cover and the fabric. This is a 6 signature journal packed in there pretty well. And this is what the spine looks like in the back. And this piece that I have clipped on, I'm going to talk about in a second. So if we open it up, going inside, the inside covers, I used this wonderful skating image. So one half I've got on the front cover and the other half I have on the back cover. And this piece that I clipped on the back cover is a piece of antique ephemera I got from Jacqueline at Souvenir de la France. And I just love this piece. Not everybody maybe would be attracted to it, but it's a buckle sample. And that's why I thought it would work really well in this journal because of the skates and things. It just reminded me of the old boot buckles. So we've got 3 buckles going down this side. I'm going to test my French. This is boucle fourchette, which means fork buckle. And each of these buckles has Paris engraved on it. I don't know if you can see that, but they're just a really neat patina on those. And then this one says Coulon trois crans, I believe, and that means sinking 3 notches. And then this hook or buckle is au gras vernis, which means varnished clip. That's my favorite. So pretty. And then this last one lost its way, but I like how you can still see kind of the faint outline of what was there. So I just added the buckle label to the top of this, and then in the back you can see where they've all been strung together. Now going inside through the pages, I will list below a link to the shops whose digitals I used in this journal. Just a quick run through, I used Roxy Creations, Artie Mays, Mrs. Coggs, Project Printables, Crafty Cat USA, and then a bunch of images that I found in the public domain as well. So I've got on this locked up paper, I did the 12 days of Christmas. So I've got 2 in each signature, and then I just punched the edges of those pages. And then I've got some lined rating paper and a little bit of stenciling up there. And then I just attached it at the top, these lined sheets throughout the journal, so that you get double the writing space and there's places to journal underneath there as well. And then on this piece of vellum, this vellum page, I've got a partridge to go with the partridge in the pear tree. And then on the backs of these vellum sheets throughout, I just did a little bit of stamping on there, some script stamping. I just like the way that looks when you can see through it. On this page, I clipped this journaling card. It's got this beautiful embossed bird on there, some lace trim, and then a place to write on the back. And then throughout the book, I've also incorporated some of the original book pages from this book. Here I did stenciling on there and added some tapestry fabric on the edge. Then I did a little collaging with this lady out in the snow. And then here we've got 2 turtle doves. Some more lined paper. And then I've got a couple of old onion skin documents from the early 1900s. Here I clipped on a tag, and this is just some handmade like wool paper. I layered that up. This is some of that houndstooth on the top and the back side. And then in the middle of each signature, I took some of the images that were in the book and added those in, some really pretty ones. Image from the book. And here I added some silk velvet and a strip of garment labels. This is St. Nicholas in full array stood before them, it says. Here I've got a corner tuck, and then in there I've got some antique and vintage ephemera. This is a receipt from looks like 96. And then this is an Italian one that I got from Rachel at Roxy Creations, and that's dated 1968. On this vellum page, it's a pear tree. And then in the next signature, we're on to the 3 French hens. This is an image of some French hens. I don't know if they're French, but they're hens. Here I did some stenciling on this page and then added this beautiful silk ruffle up in the corner. Another collage on that page. 4 calling birds. Here I clipped on this journaling card. And I've got a little, excuse me, side tuck here that I stamped. And then in this pocket, I've got a French prayer card. I don't see a date on it though. And here's the image in the center of this signature. It says, "Do tell us all about St. Nicholas." This picture I absolutely love. It's an old photo. And here's the family standing out in the snow. These guys are dressed in winter clothing, and it looks like he did some rolling around in the snow already. But the rest of the family is just out there. Looks like they just came from the kitchen. This girl is not happy. She's not having it. But what makes it so interesting, I think, is on the back it says, December 1927, 40 below zero. I don't know about you, but they don't look like they're standing in 40 below zero to me. But that may be why she's not so happy. Here's the title page of the book. And here I created this pocket. And this is kind of like a William Morris print. And then on the tops of a lot of the pockets throughout here, I did some embossing on black cardstock and then just gave it a little bit of gilding. Now I have to say I did a journal very similar to this last year at Christmas time, and I just loved it so much that I decided to revisit it again. So you may see some things that are very similar to the one I did last year. So here I've got this tag, the back of that. On to 5 golden rings. Again, some stenciling with some cream paste. And then to stick with the 5 golden rings theme, I have all these jewels on this page. Fabric ruffle there. Six geese of laying. And the other side of those pages. And then on this page, I clipped this journaling card I love this trim on the bottom. Ladies feeding the geese, so that goes with the 6 geese of laying section. And here's the center image. Up in this corner tuck, we've got a couple of larger items there. A journaling sheet with this image and some stitching on there. I just stamped the back of that. And then some more jewels to go with the 5 golden rings section. Seven Swans of Swimming. And then here I've got this journaling card. Some pretty delicate lace on the top of that one. And then a place to journal inside. We've got the swans on this page. And on this page, I stitched some fabric along the side and then just created a tuck there with this page, or this sheet of paper. And then on this page again, I've got a tuck there that you could stick some things behind. And here we've got the 8 maids of milking. On this page, this was one of the pages from the book, and I didn't want to cover it because it says Helen from Aunt Leah, Christmas 1918. So I wanted to make sure I preserved that. Here I added it's a garment tag as a tab. And this is the center image. And then I just added a couple of little faux stamps to the strings. And then on this page, I clipped an envelope. Added a little bit of glitter and embossed the envelope. And then inside there, I tucked a vintage Christmas card. I believe it's from the 1930s. In this pocket, I've got this tag. I backed that with piano paper and did a little stenciling on there. And this is a German invoice from 1937. Nice long one with lots of journaling space on the back. I always find those kinds of places really fun to journal on. And we've got another swan. And we're to the 9 ladies dancing. Here we've got 3 of the 9 ladies. Here I've got, again, some trim fabric and lace. Collage on this page. 10 Lords of Leaping. On this page, I hand-stitched a remnant of a wool suiting. And you'll see that throughout I've incorporated a lot of wools, winter wools and velvet, which I think I associate both with winter. And then on there I've got a couple of journaling sheets, again, of some jewels. And I stenciled lightly on the back of these, but lots of place to write. And those are clipped on a page from an old women's magazine. I think it's a Simplicity magazine from the 1950s. And I've got that same magazine page here. I created some pockets on the bottom of these pages. So those are stitched up with this tapestry fabric on each side. And then in those pockets, I've created a couple of little booklets, I guess you would call them. So there's one on this side and one on this side. And what I did was take one image of ladies dancing and cut it in two, so there's one on each one. I backed these with a page from an old antique photo album. I didn't want to cover that up because it's just such a beautiful pattern on there. But I stitched to the top of this just some random pages that can be used to journal on. And then in the center of this signature is another one of the book images. On this page, I created a rather large tag with this woman on her skis. I added a little bit of wool fabric there and some coffee dye paper on the back. Here I created a belly band with the houndstooth and some of that pretty silk fabric. And then in there I tucked this journaling card of another lady dancing. And that just flips open with some places to journal in there. And then on the back side I've got this antique ledger with this beautiful handwriting on it. And again, I try not to cover those up because it's just so beautiful to look at. In this corner tuck, I've got a couple of items. This top one I tied up with a velvet ribbon, and it's just an article from an old, I think a 1950s, 40s or 50s Christmas magazine, and it's just an article on the making of Christmas spoons. And then I've got this journaling card. This is a remnant of an antique silk quilt, and all these blocks were hand stitched. Every single fabric on that quilt was silk. And the back side of that. And the last of the dancing ladies. And then over on this page, I've got this antique French postcard, or it's not a French postcard, I think it's US, but it says going to church, and they're in their skis. And this is from 1911 and from my home state, so Wisconsin, not France. I do have a lot of French postcards. Okay, we're on to 11 Pipers Piping. And on this page, I've got this journaling card, again made from one of those pretty album pages. This one I did cover up though, I guess. We've got the pipers piping. We got the pipes there. And then on this page, I've got some of my favorite sari trim. I just love this deep burgundy color, and it also has some little bits of embroidery here and there, which I love. Up here, I've got a little cluster of velvet, silk, and wool. And we're getting to the end. We're on 12 drummers drumming. Over here, I've added this little embossed pocket. And there I just have this small little tag. This page is an old German receipt or invoice from 1937. Here's a journaling card on this page. The center picture. Here I just took a scrap, a wool scrap, and stitched it to the page. added a button. And then this is another German invoice. I'm not sure the year on that one, but it's really pretty. And on the edge of that page, I've got this little journaling booklet. Here's another Piper piping. And I did some stenciling on that black paper. And just a doily in the center. Another page from the book. And on this corner tuck, I've got this journaling card of the skaters and a piece of vintage music. Another Piper piping, and that piece of vellum, and the last page of the book. So I really love this journal. I love how it came out. I like the subject matter. At this point in time, I'm not sure if this will be for sale or not. It may be spoken for. If it is spoken for, I will put that down below. And if not, I will link the listing in my Etsy shop in the description as well. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that flip through. Until next time, bye-bye.